That was my last time, and I'm never doing that again. These are the famous last words that I told myself after seeing an escort for the first time. And as it turns out, I've repeated that phrase a couple more times after that. Deep down, I knew this is something that I didn't want to be doing. It was killing my soul, and I knew this is something that I especially shouldn't be doing as a young man. But what pained me the most was that I could not stop. Little did I know I was heading down a dark path that would almost consume me if I didn't take action. Just a disclaimer, if you are watching this video and do not want to face the unspoken reality of the dark underworld around hiring escorts, then I want you to click off this video right now. Because what I'm about to tell you is the truth about hiring these women, and it quite can possibly be the truth that you just did not want to hear in the first place. And the reason why I say this is because I've seen too many good men who are successful and leaders in their field, with loving families, just risk their reputation and their family life by paying for these escorts and living a shady double life that came back to bite them. And on the flip side, I've seen way too many single men stay stuck, lonely for years without the dating and relational life that they desired. And all of these men that I mentioned ended up getting number and number to how this escort addiction ended up ruining their finances, their relationships, and their well-being, all while they're lying to themselves saying that it's okay and it's justified. So if you're watching this video and you have paid for escorts in the past, or you're even considering doing it for the first time, you need to watch this video all the way to the end so you can learn the truth about this taboo topic that no one wants to talk about. Now before we dive into that, for those who are new to my channel, I'm Coach Josh, founder of Purpose Over Pleasure, and it is my purpose to help men overcome their addiction to escorts so they can live a more fulfilling life. Now, what is the truth that I've been mentioning? The truth is that deep down men know they should not be paying for escorts, but honestly they choose to do it anyways for the immediate pleasure or escape that it provides. And to prove my point, I'm going to be reading off some rationalizations that men use to justify and cope with their acting out behavior, and I see this commented all the time on my channel. They'll say things like, well, I'm undersexed, I'm not getting my needs met, so this is the best way for me to go and do that. Or maybe for guys who are in relationships, they'll say like, what she doesn't know won't hurt her, or they just blame their wife and say like, if she was only a little bit more responsive, I wouldn't be having this problem, and I wouldn't be doing these things. Or they're going to be blaming the dating scene. Like guys who are single might be saying like, the dating scene sucks right now. This is the best way for me to get my sexual needs met. And this is, you're paying for it anyways. You might as well just go and do this. Or, guys who are in really stressful positions in their jobs, or people who are a little bit more successful, they'll rationalize it by saying like, with the stress that I'm under, I deserve to go out and get this. It's like a reward for them. Something that gets people all the time is like, that was my last time. I'm never doing that again. After this, I'm over it, right? I'm just going to give into this one desire because it's been nagging at me for some time now. And they go and relapse, or they go and see an escort. And each and every one of these rationalizations that I just told you are honestly just common lies that men use to justify their behavior to act out with escorts, even when they know in their heart of hearts that it's not what they want. It's just a temporary solution to a problem going on in their life. Maybe the problem exists in their relationship or their lack thereof. Maybe the pressure of work is getting to them and they need to be able to find an escape from that and the stress that it brings. Maybe there's constant feelings of loneliness and isolation, and they just need to feel some form of intimacy, not sex, but just intimacy. And paying for an escort is simply a means to an end. It's not the solution, it's not the fix, it's not what they want, but it's a great way to temporarily solve their problem or just not feel the pain of the situation that they're in. However, the real problem is that when you continuously find escape in escorts and you continuously tell yourself these things and act out with these escorts and you're hiring them consistently, you start to get accustomed and really start to enjoy the double life that you've created for yourself and finding escape in that. Becoming just number and number to the pain of actually doing this. And they just start to accept that this is a part of their life and something that just brings them pleasure and something that they're just going to do. And this is just how it is now. Believing more and more in these lies and these rationalizations that they use to justify this behavior. And they start to accept these rationalizations as truths. And before you know it, they've gone so far down the slippery slope that they can no longer ignore how it started to destroy aspects of their lives, whether that be their relationships with their spouse finding out, whether that just be within their own finances, it becoming something that's very costly, or just being stuck in crushing their own dreams and visions and goals because this is something that's been of more value and something that they've chased far more than what they've wanted to achieve in life. And before they know it, they're stuck being 40, 50 years old, being one of those guys rationalizing it in the comment section on my videos with nothing but regret and hatred, and people who just accepted that this is just a part of their life now. That is the real problem. That is what happens to people when they go down and start to pay for sex and pay for escorts. And if there's just one thing that you can get out of this video, it's that the hope that you can actually conquer this or not have this be a reality, and hope that you can actually get what you want out of life instead of having a means to an end just to have a temporary solution and find escape in that. And before you can even get to that position where you can be hopeful for a better future, you need to really understand like the path that most guys are going down if you're doing this type of behavior. Because most guys don't think about the consequences. Most guys don't think about where it leads up to. But let me ask you this. Like, what would happen if you don't do anything about this, you don't take action, and your situation continues or even gets worse? And you're paying for it more frequently, and this is something that's got even more of a foothold into your life. You know, how would you feel about just being miserable with the pain of low self-esteem because you feel shameful and guilty for these actions that you're doing consistently? You know, how would you feel if the sexual behavior starts to affect your career and goals and your ambitions? Like, how on earth are you supposed to do your best work and become the living embodiment of your best possible self if this double life is taking more and more of your time, more and more of your energy and focus, all while crushing your soul? And most importantly, like, how would your family and your significant other feel if they found out? Or even better, if you're single, like, how would you even be able to get into a quality relationship while still doing these things? You know, this is a game that you don't want to be playing if you want to develop a relationship. And honestly, man, I'm not here to shame anyone on these things. I just want to wake you up to the reality. Whether you choose to go down this path or not has no difference to me. But this is something that you need to wake up to if you're considering doing this or you have been doing this for some time. And I've been there, man. I understand the pain and that this thing brings and how sometimes you just feel stuck, and this is just a reality for you, right? Just feeling hopeless that this is just something that's a part of your life now. I've been there. And if we're to get right down to this, if this is something that you were struggling with, you probably deep down know this is something that you should not be doing because it's not the answer, it's not the solution, it's not what you want, and this habit cannot continue. Am I right? But you probably can't stop, can you? I'm sure you probably tried to stop countless of times, but have failed without exception, and I'm here to tell you today that it's just not your fault. You just never had the right process or the right person explain things to you who knows how you feel right now and actually came out on top. And since you're a guy that resonates with this message and doesn't want to live this shady double life of seeing these escorts and have that affect his future, and just wants to quit so you can have a better life in general, and you just want to stop struggling alone, then I want to invite you to book a call with me below to see if you're a good fit for the Recovery Blueprint program, which is an end-all, be-all system to conquer your escort addiction, where you're going to be getting guidance from me personally, along with other men who are committed to the same exact goal. And men, I know you're tired of having this thing be in your life, and I know you see how much better your life would be without this thing. So at the very least, I hope this video motivated you to take some action and take your own recovery seriously. And with that said, stay strong, stay safe, and I'll see y'all boys in the next one. Peace.